Authentiviews, here we go. Oh, let's talk. Authentiviews, with Walkin Contradiction. Let's talk. Authentiviews.
What's going on? It's your main man, Walkin Contradiction, here once again for another installment of Authentiviews, Walkin Contradiction, presented by In the Spotlight magazine. If you're not in the Spotlight, where are you?
Where are you?
I'm here with the lovely Miss Luenell, the comedian, the actress extraordinaire, and we're just going to start off the way we always do. How are you feeling today?
I'm good. I'm glad to be here in New York City, the city that never sleeps. And I have lots to do here, which always makes me happy. And media is all part of the job, so I'm glad to be being interviewed by you today.
Okay, yeah, and as she says, she's on the move. I mean, this week she is going to be all over the place. I mean, I see you had a pretty busy 2013 going into 2014.
Yeah.
Californication film.
Californication series.
The series.
David Duchovny.
Exactly.
And I finished a movie that's supposed to be out this year, written and directed by Nick Cannon, called School Dance. And, then I have a few episodes of the Ricky Smiley Show getting ready to start this coming Friday. And just on the road doing my stand-up as well.
Absolutely. And I also saw from So Much More Communications that you have Think Like a Man 2 coming out as well.
Yes.
Okay. So now we're speaking about films. Everyone knows I love movies, and one of my favorite movies was Borat. Bar none, like top, like I got Coming to America, and then in that top 5 is Borat. My question to you, and you can think back to your time on that set. What was it like being on that set with so many crazy things happening? How was that experience?
Well, I don't think a film had been made like Borat before, so I didn't know what I was like getting into, and also didn't know what to expect, and I was just showing up for my job.
Right.
But then some of the stuff that they were asking me to do, I did not want to do, obviously, because people take their country line dancing very serious. Like if you were stepping in Chicago and somebody came in and messed up your whole step line, you wouldn't be happy with that. So when we had to go into the country line dancing club and go the wrong way and just mess up the whole thing, and I'm black and he's, foreign descent, it was, hugely uncomfortable, and I felt like, oh boy, we're gonna get it. Then also, I'm not used to going places where they don't want me, and when I was showing up for the dinner party, those weren't stunt racists, those were really racist people who still had some black people working in their kitchen, and those black people had never even been to their front door. So when I showed up at the front door, scantily clad like the hooker that I was portraying, it took a little persuading for me to want to do that, because I was like, well, I don't know, if they're gonna shoot us, I was scared. And when we were running away from the house, we really had to run because we got the police called on us a lot.
Get out of here. See, I'm so glad we did this interview, because I was always curious about how much was staged, how much was real, and we hearing from one of the actresses.
It was all real. There was situations that was set up, but the reactions from the people, that was all real.
Well, that's good, and again, this is Authentiviews. We're about real, and we just got a real exclusive right there. So now the next question, keeping on the theme of real, we hear that you have a school-aged daughter, and school just got back in session. My question is, what kind of parent are you? Are you one of the parents who are over-involved? Are you laid back? What's your approach?
Well, my daughter is 17, about to be 18 in January, and she's going to be graduating from high school in June.
Okay.
And I really, when I had my daughter, it was later in life. I was in my 30s when I had my daughter. Okay. And so I'm really actually too old for this job, and my daughter should really be my granddaughter. And so I don't like to go to all these parent-teacher meetings and stuff like that.
But you go.
I go to some, but I'm on the road for a lot of them,
Right,
so I miss
right.
a lot of them.
That's good.
But I go to the football games. I don't know anything about football, but I didn't stop me because I went to New York Jets game because I'm friends with Rex Ryan from doing the movie That's My Boy. Adam Sandler's That's My Boy. But I don't know anything about football. But I was sitting in the most cherished seat there because I was in Rex's box with his wife. And there are people who I know in New York all their life never been to a Jets game, let alone sat in a box. And I was like,
Right.
what did he do? What inning is this?
And that would make me upset.
I know. I
As a
had to
sports
have-
fan. Are you
I
kidding
know.
me?
I know.
Oh,
So
God.
I do go to her activities as much as possible. The senior year is very hard financially and everything because they have
Right.
so much to do
All those
and
duties.
preparing for college and
Right.
filling out college applications and mission statements, personal statements, and all that kind of stuff. It's really a lot, and I don't have any other children, so this is my first time going through it. And it's also hard because I'm not there to help her,
Right.
so I had to enlist, some of my friends who have children that are already in college. So it's a heck of a year. Am I strict and stuff like that? Yeah, I put the hammer down when I have to, but I'm pretty much a pushover as well. My bark is worse than my bite, and I only have one child. She's my only daughter, and so she gets pretty much whatever she wants, pretty much.
Pretty much. So
Yeah.
she's essentially a pushover. Essentially, she
I'm
steps
a
up,
pushover.
but essentially is a pushover. So I got another more serious question. Being known as like a bad girl of comedy, I was curious about the duality between being a bad girl and the public imaging with your stand-up, and sometimes, like you said, with the Borat movie role. But then, how do you balance that with the mother side? How do you feel with your conversations with your daughter about life, and then
I find this funny because nobody normally asks me much about my daughter, and I've done 2 interviews today, and both interviews were, I guess maybe it's because
back to school time.
thing.
Yeah.
Well, my daughter has been around me, my mouth, and attitude all her life. So she's pretty much over the getting embarrassed by what I do thing. And her father was a comedian when I started, so she's used to, the language and everything. She pretty much has headphones on and tunes it all out and is over it. The bad girl image is a real thing. I'm the 8th of 8 children, and I was raised in Oakland, California. And so, people like myself, Keisha Cole, and Miss Laura Hayes, women that come from Oakland, we're sort of hardcore. We don't suffer fools very well. We don't take a lot of BS, and so I remain that no matter whether I'm in Hollywood or New York or Japan or anything. There's only so much that you can, you got to talk to me a certain way, or I flip out, or you have to treat me a certain way, or I flip out. And even my friends, they can only talk to me a certain way, or I flip out. And I think it's just the bad girl thing. I used to be, really like a hardcore drinker, and would slap you out in a bar and stuff like that, and be up in your face. But through that, I still remain the funniest chick in the game.
Absolutely.
So now I've just gotten older. I'm not slapping as many people. I'm not drinking as much. I'm still doing all of that, and I'll still get up in your ass. But I've learned to curtail it somewhat in my aging process. And I still remain the baddest chick in the game.
Absolutely. So now, what's next? What's something that you've done so much at this point? What's next? What do you see on the horizon? Is there any particular maybe television show you want to be on, or an actor that you want to act with, or
Well, being part of the Ricky Smiley Show cast was really a great experience, and I know that I tend to move a little slower than some of my other comedy mates, whether that be God's will or whatever. That's just the way it's been. So I don't mind taking things step by step. Yes, I want to be a regular. You know, if I have to be a reoccurring on somebody's show, fine. Then I want to be a regular on somebody's show, fine. Then I want to, of course, have my own show.
Okay.
If not doing all that simultaneously.
Okay.
More films, of course, and just make, you know, way more money than I make now is always the goal. And I would like to be in a position to also, you know, find talent and put other people on too. You know,
Right.
Sherland would always used to say, each one teach one. I know a lot of people out there who could use a break, you know, and I know talent when I see it. And so I want to be in a position to, you know, help people, you know, get out. If, you know, the rap game brought a whole bunch of people into millionaire status and mentoring status and film and television that would have otherwise maybe fallen by the wayside, went to jail, selling drugs, whatever like that. You know, who knows what Dr. Dre and Eazy-E and Big's future would have been had it not been for rap. So, you know, I'm hoping that through my comedy, you know, I'll be able to do, like I said previously, more film, more television, and ultimately be able to mentor and salvage some other talent that I see out there.
And much respect to that, because a lot of people, you know, they get to a certain level and they just forget that people need a hand. People
Well,
need,
you know, if you don't, you know, it's the God in me.
Absolutely.
Because if you don't help other people out, everything that you have, you know, is for naught, and plus it can be taken away just like that.
Absolutely.
And God don't like that. So I think that you should always, you know, be mindful of that you know, you didn't get any of this but for the grace of God. And that getting it that way, you should give it, you know, and try to help other folk, because you cannot take it with you, and being just a selfish asshole has never benefited anyone, you know.
Absolutely. So now we're bringing Authentiviews to a close. I'm going to ask the wonderful comedian actress one more question. You're internationally known now. You've done film, you've done touring as a comic, you've done so many different things. Young Luenell growing up in Oakland, what did you see yourself as becoming?
Exactly this.
Really?
Yeah, I never had any other desire to do anything but be in entertainment since I was probably maybe about 12 or 13. I never had any other desire than to do exactly what I'm doing now. I saw it, I foresaw it, I prayed about it, and I actively went about pursuing it. I got the bug, as it were, by seeing a play. I went to a play that a friend of mine's sister was in, and it was like opening night, so I got to go backstage.
Oh, wow.
And that right there was exciting, to see a show like this, but then to go back and see, you know, the costumes hanging and the ropes that pull the curtains and the lights and the soundboard and stuff. And that was interesting. And then we went to the reception, and at the reception everybody was drinking champagne and signing autographs and taking pictures. And I just remember looking around at everybody and seeing how they were adored, and seeing, I said, oh, I want this. Whatever it is that makes people act like this, that's what I want. I want
Right.
that. And that was it. That was it.
Well, as an independent artist and who's also a speaker, who's wanted to do that since I was very
Great.
young,
That's good.
I just thank you, because it's good. It's good and it's great to see someone who had a vision and carried it through and persevered, and now can tell people on the come up that it can happen.
Yeah, I remember in Ruth's Chicken George always said have a plan B to back up your plan A. But I don't necessarily subscribe to that. I believe, like, you know, have a plan A and make it happen. You know, if you have a plan B, you're planning on failing, or you're giving yourself room to have a backup fail. If you don't even have a plan B, you only have plan A, then you have to make it work. But don't fool yourself. You know, if you're not funny naturally, then maybe you shouldn't be a comedian, no matter how bad you want it.
Right.
If you are not educated, cannot speak, have not taken English, do not have a degree, don't want to go to college, maybe you shouldn't be a speaker.
Right.
If you cannot sing, then maybe you should not try to sing.
Right.
Maybe you can write songs, maybe you can produce songs. There's other
Absolutely.
things to do, but everybody wants that spotlight thing. But there's so many millionaires walking around right now that nobody knows their name.
Right.
Like, you know, the
Right.
person who wrote For the Love of Money is not the OJs.
No.
It's the person who wrote it. Who's now that becomes a theme song for Donald Trump's apprentice.
Oh, really?
And now that's been on for many, many years,
That's
and they
right.
get paid every time that's on. The OJs may get some money, but the writer gets
Right.
most of the money,
Right.
and we don't know who that is. But they're a millionaire. They're living well.
Absolutely.
So you don't always have to be in front. You know, if money and wealth and success is your goal, it's really not here. It's really back behind there.
Absolutely, and that's real talk from Luenell. So I would like to thank you so much for taking the time out and sit down with In the Spotlight magazine. Again, check her out.
You can hit me on my Twitter or my Instagram. Leave Facebook alone because it's boring me like MySpace. But hit me on Instagram and Twitter at Luenell, at Luenell. I live my life on Instagram. You'll love it.
Again, this is Walkin Contradiction, another installment of Authentiviews of Walkin Contradiction. You're not in the spotlight, where are you?
Where you at?
Peace. Thank you.